Across the UK, schools are rediscovering the importance of play and its ability to impact on some of the most significant aspects of child development. They're also discovering that natural environments and materials offer some of the richest play opportunities. While many schools are now developing their playgrounds to provide these natural play spaces, hundreds of schools already have access to a wonderful but unused woodland playground right on their doorstep. At Grounds for Learning, we wanted to find out how woodlands in or adjacent to schools could be made accessible for regular play. Over 2 years, we've worked with 6 schools that recognised the potential of their woodlands for play, but who needed help to turn their aspirations into reality. This film shares what we've learned along the way about the tremendous impact of woodland play on children, and about how to manage some of the practical issues that prevent many others from making the most of this wonderful resource.
I was building a den and I was trying to make a rope spring, but it wasn't working. And then I was going in that wee tent down there. It was really fun.
My favourite thing in the woods is when we play hide and seek, because there's a lot of branches that you can hide in, and you can hide in between the big trees, and there's lots of gaps that you can hide in, and it's fun.
My favourite thing playing in the woods is probably making a tree swing and building dens, and that's it really.
My favourite game when I'm playing in the woods is probably making obstacles for bugs and that.
I like to build dens because they're fun. I think they're interesting, and you get to explore things and make them.
The best thing about being in the woods is I get fresh air, and I've got woods at my house and it's really fun to play in them, and I like climbing trees. That's why I like playing in the woods.
You get to run about and just go mad, and also you get to play armies and carry sticks and all that.
My favourite thing about playing in the woods is because it's good fun, because there's lots of trees to climb and you can do a lot of things. There's not just one thing that you can do in it.
We're making this house. We've got a living room and a bedroom, and me and my friends, we're just making it for fun.
My favourite thing to do in the nature trail is to build dens, because it's fun and you have to do tons of problem solving and work with your friends and figure out where to make your den and how to place sticks and everything.
It's better playing in the woods because there's more things to do. We all kind of play in the same bit together. The playground, it can be fun, but not as fun as the woods.
Such varied play opportunities bring with them a range of benefits for the children involved. Woodland play can build confidence, improve cooperation, create opportunities for outdoor learning, and present physical challenges that are key to a child's development. Both teachers and parents alike have been amazed by the impact of woodland play.
I think that play is really wonderful for being self-directed and giving children the responsibility and the autonomy to make their own decisions and to not have a huge amount of structure, particularly in this day and age where so many children use an awful lot of technology, sometimes overusing technology like Xboxes, PlayStations, etc., that doesn't use any of their own imagination. Out here with nothing added to the woodlands, there's a whole wealth of opportunities, but they need to use their imagination to make it come alive for them.
They grow in confidence in their physical ability with the climbing and moving around on the uneven ground, and you do notice an improvement over the weeks as they're out here. being out in the fresh air, all different weathers. You hear different sounds when it's raining, the noise the leaves make, the noise of the wind. They're just experiencing with all of their senses.
Some of our children who find the classroom setting very restrictive and very difficult to work with other people, when they're out in the woodland and there's a bit more space and they can be a bit more relaxed about what they're doing, they cooperate brilliantly and they have the opportunity to do that. And some of the children who don't particularly shine academically in school are definitely leaders outside, and it's just a wonderful opportunity for them to take on a different role and for their classmates and peers to see them in a different light.
If you read into all the research that's gone into outdoor play, one of the things that comes out quite clearly is that it's unnatural to have a blank open space for children to play in, whereas this is natural, this is not stressful, this is something that can provide relaxation and a little bit of release from the classroom environment.
It's just been really interesting to see how things develop and how, with really not an awful lot of adult input, that children can work together. There's a group of boys who have been furiously building this den with logs, and they've just been working so cooperatively, and to create that in the classroom would be, you know, a lot of work for a teacher just to come up with the right activity that's going to engage them, thinking about roles within the group, but they've really fallen naturally into that, and I've been observing that over the last couple of weeks, and it's really something that's happened very naturally because they're interested, they're outdoors, they're in the fresh air, they're really engaged.
I feel in the playground the children that prefer their own company or like to be on their own often don't have very much to do. They're kicking the tar and wandering about and often get into mischief that isn't really their fault, they just don't know what to do. But out here, the wee solitary soul can dig in the ground, they can move the leaves, they can shift stones, build their own wee dens, animal houses, leading them possibly into interacting with other groups round about because they'll come to see what they're doing or they'll go to see what they're doing. I just feel it is a far bigger opportunity for the children that find it difficult to interact with their peers to find a way in.
When the children are in the woods playing together, their behaviour is a lot better. They're engaged, they're enjoying themselves, they have things to do, they're working together as a team, morale's really high. Whereas normally if they were maybe playing football, not in the woods, there's disputes, they're just better in the woods having fun and enjoying themselves.
Confidence, I would say, would be a big issue. When we're out, we're very lucky to have the Lindsay Moss in the local area, and we often go round the moss. They've now started to want to explore off the beaten track, both of them, so they're 5 and 8, and they're more than happy now to go off into the woods and discover and learn and explore.
They're in school all day in a classroom and they have to keep their voices quiet and there are rules to follow, and then they come outside and they still have rules and there are boundaries that they're allowed to go within, but they can shout and they can run wild, and boys can be monkeys if they want and hang off the trees. They can't do that when they're inside in the classroom, and it just allows them to really express themselves.
The schools that have taken part in the Woodland Play project have learned a great deal from their experience. From planning to supervision, they've developed their own approaches to overcome challenges and concerns.
We have had a local scout group who came in and swept the wooded area, first and foremost to make sure there was no bottles or any debris or anything which could harm the children. And the children themselves, they all know if they find a bottle or they find anything dangerous, that they bring it to an adult.
Obviously we're looking at, there's no debris, there's nothing that can harm the children that's been thrown into the school from outside over the fence. We keep an eye in the woods to make sure the trees are okay and there's not any fallen branches that's going to come away. So we're looking for a safe environment.
Find out what the children want and think about what you could do with your grounds. We consulted the children, we allowed the children in before we did anything to find out if we could use the woodland. And when we decided we could, we got as much help as we possibly could. Obviously we got parents to help, we got outside helpers to come in. get as many people involved as you can, because although it's hard work to do that, everyone has a sense of ownership and everybody has that ability to go away and think how they can make it better and come back with more ideas, so that this will not just end here, but the project will go on and on and on for years.
During the intervals, during playtimes and lunchtime, we've got a large school playground that they've always had access to, but we've made it available now for them to use the woods as well. They've got a wee group set up of primary sixes who are our woodland rangers, and they're coming out to help with the supervision with younger children. We've got a bit of a timetable going on to make sure that everybody, every class does get an opportunity to come out and access the woods without there being just everyone in the school in the woods at the same time, because that would obviously have a negative impact on the quality of the play.
We do have a set of rules that have to be followed very, very strictly, and the children have accepted these really, really well. No sticks above shoulder height, don't climb any higher than their own height, got to watch for glass, they don't pick it up themselves, they tell an adult. There is a set of rules which we go over rigidly every time with them before they start. And if these children don't obey the rules, they know the consequences are they will go inside or they will go back to the playground, they won't be in the nature trail. They love the nature trail, they want to stay there, and they know that breaking the rules would mean that they would have to leave.
Naturally, when we thought about it at the beginning, some staff had concerns about the development of the woodland area, mainly the people who were supervising at playtime and lunchtime. And I could understand where they were coming from, because they were concerned about the health and safety aspect of the whole idea of playing in woodlands and not being able to see the children all the time. We managed that by involving them right from the very beginning and making sure that their concerns were addressed one by one. We got the health and safety rep from the council to come and speak to them and to reassure them about what was acceptable and what wasn't acceptable. We've given everybody who comes out, they've got a kit bag that they bring with them with a first aid kit, and they've got a walkie-talkie, which means they're in radio contact with the office.
What I do, it really is stand back, but I'm still observing and watching that there isn't anything untoward happening, because I really don't want the children to be aware that I'm there watching them. It's giving them the freedom to play and not letting them see that they're being looked over by an adult.
The main thing is to do it at the pace that's right for your school and for your circumstances. I mean, the whole idea of woodland play for us was a new step. You really have to take people with you on that, because you're talking about playground supervisors, maybe talking about additional needs assistants, talking about another set of staff taking responsibility. So it's really important that you do it at the right pace and take very small steps by trialling it, after you've done a good amount of planning.
For all the schools concerned, the hard work has really paid off. Staff, pupils and parents are reaping the rewards of their efforts.
We're really glad that we did this project, because we can see it on the children's faces when they come out. They're not walking to the woodland, they're running to the woodland, they're desperate to come here and play. And obviously teachers are excited about it as well, because they can see the enjoyment the children have, and they have much more scope for bringing the children out and using the grounds for learning and for fun as well. So everyone is happy that we've done this.
Just standing back and watching the teamwork, the cooperation, and just getting down to that level of a bunch of primary 6 girls inviting you across to show the den that they build and offering you a cup of tea. It's quite liberating, I think, for them. They're out the classroom, they're out the traditional playground situation, and they can be children again, and it's just great to see that.
The schools in this project have all discovered that child-led, free play in their woodlands can help to nurture confident, active, responsible, well-socialised and happy children. And children who don't just know more about nature, but who have a stronger emotional connection to the natural world. They've also discovered that practical issues such as supervision, Risk and weather can all be addressed without the need for significant additional cost. If you would like advice, support or training in how to develop woodland play in your school, then get in touch. To find out more or to order a copy of our Woodland Play booklet, visit our website at www.ltl.org.uk/woodland play.